If the sun were as big as a basketball, the Earth would be about the size of a soccer ball. But what if the biggest star in the universe were as big as a basketball? The answer is both terrifying and exhilarating. And speaking of huge stars, have you seen our video on the biggest star ever found? If not, then we invite you to watch it after this one. But for now, let's focus on the largest star in the universe. It goes by the fancy name of Scuti, but that's not important. What matters is that this star is a red hypergiant almost 9,000 light-years away. The first thing you might wonder is how astronomers figured out the size of such a distant object. It's actually quite simple. See, when a star shines, its light hits other celestial bodies and makes them shine too. That means astronomers can measure the brightness of a star by looking at how bright other objects around it are. So long as they know the distance to those objects, they can calculate the star's luminosity. They also need to figure out the star's temperature, which allows them to determine its color, and all this data lets them estimate the star's radius. In the case of Scuti, it is nearly 1,700 astronomical units from the Sun. That's 1,700 times the average distance between the Earth and the Sun. But since Scuti isn't like our Sun, the size of its solar system doesn't really matter. Its radius is over 1,200 times larger than that of our Sun. In fact, the biggest star in the universe is so large that Earth simply vanishes in comparison. But how exactly did scientists find out the star's size? Let us go back to 2012, when a team of astronomers used the orbiting Kepler space telescope to study a small patch of space in the constellation Scuti. One of the stars they observed was Scuti. However, they only noticed it after looking at the brightness changes of its neighboring stars. Since Scuti was shining brighter than expected, astronomers decided to investigate further, and in 2012, they published their discovery in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics. In it, they stated that Scuti is the largest star ever measured, and that its radius is at least 1,700 times larger than that of our Sun. Since then, many astronomers have tried to confirm or disprove the findings. Yet there's still no consensus on the exact size of the star. Scuti is so big that if you put it in the center of our solar system, it would reach beyond Pluto. In fact, the planet Uranus would be inside the star. Or put another way, it could easily fit 13 quadrillion Earths in volume. To make things even crazier, it is believed that Scuti is only 10 million years old. By comparison, our Sun is around 4.5 billion years old. The star is also extremely luminous with an estimated luminosity of 3.3 trillion watts. For comparison, the Sun's luminosity is just 3.8 watts. That means that Scuti shines 868,000 times brighter than our Sun. So if you ever get the chance to see it, wear your sunglasses, but don't expect it to look particularly pretty. Scuti is a red hypergiant, which basically means it's big, very hot and shining brightly before it goes supernova. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it explodes in an event known as a supernova. And Scuti is currently in that stage. Its outer layers are expanding at 230 kilometers per second, and it is losing about 10 billion kilograms of mass each year. But don't worry, it will be a while before it explodes because right now it's stable. Stars don't explode just because they're big or because they're losing mass. It's believed that they become unstable when their core collapses, and at some point, the collapse will cause the core of Scuti to bounce rapidly. When that happens, a huge amount of energy will be released, triggering a supernova explosion. The star will temporarily become the brightest object in the night sky, and the explosion will continue for months. And when it's over, Scuti will either leave behind a neutron star or a black hole. While the star is still shining brightly, astronomers are studying it to learn more about stellar evolution. Understanding how stars form and evolve is crucial to understanding how the universe evolved. And thanks to telescopes like Hubble and others like it, we're getting better and better at observing stars. We're learning more about things like the composition of exoplanets, how much water they have, and whether or not they could support life. We're also learning more about the life cycles of stars and how they contribute to the evolution of galaxies. All this knowledge helps us better understand our place in the universe. But sometimes the most fascinating thing about space is its sheer size. Take our Sun, for example. It is just one of billions of stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and yet it is so massive that Earth simply vanishes in comparison. And then there is Scuti, a star so big that it makes the Sun look like a tiny ember. Just thinking about the immensity of space is enough to make us feel insignificant. But it also reminds us of how lucky we are to be alive. We exist on a tiny planet that orbits a relatively average star in an average galaxy. There are billions of planets in the Milky Way, and we happen to live on one that is suitable for life as we know it. We also happen to live at a time when the universe is expanding at an accelerating rate. This expansion will eventually tear apart our galaxy and all the other galaxies in the observable universe. And in a way, it will do so by making space even bigger. So take a moment to appreciate the fact that you exist. You are a speck of dust on a tiny planet that orbits an average star in an average galaxy in an expanding universe. And yet you are alive. You are conscious. You are aware of your place in the grand scheme of things. You are also aware of the fact that you re-watching a video about the largest star in the universe on a device that was made possible by advances in technology that have occurred within your lifetime. You are living through an amazing time, and it is an honor to be alive right now. But if you want to see something equally amazing, check out our video on the biggest star ever found. It's fascinating. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave a comment below to let us know what you thought. Also, we would like to thank our supporters who helped us to make this video. Your generosity allows us to keep bringing you high-quality videos about the amazing discoveries and mysteries of the universe.